What if your dream home came with a nightmare on day one? Josh, Rachel, and little Max just made the big move. Out of the city. Away from the noise, the crowds, the chaos. They're ready for something better, something real. Josh is already out back, mentally mapping out his golf course. He can see it perfectly, lush grass, pristine greens, his own little sanctuary. Rachel's walking through empty rooms, imagining where the furniture goes, what color to paint the walls, how peaceful their mornings are going to feel. This is it. This is what they've been dreaming about. And Max? Well, Max is 6. He's not thrilled about his smaller room or the weird smell, but his dad promises him it's bigger than the old one. Josh tucks him in that first night, his favorite toy in hand, whispering, "You're safe here. I promise." Hours later, Josh and Rachel are in their bedroom, talking about their future. Planning. Laughing. Growing closer than they've been in years. This move was the right call. Everything's finally coming together. Then, crash. The sound is so loud that it freezes them. A window shatters. Glass everywhere. They stumble outside in the dark to find a car wrapped around the tree in their front yard, its headlights still glowing against the tree trunk. Their first night. Their dream home. And it's now the scene of an accident. But here's where it gets darker. The next morning, Josh learns something that changes everything. The driver was only 18 years old. His name was Kyle. And he didn't survive the crash. One family is moving in. One teenager is not going home. One accident that was supposed to be just a terrible, random incident, except it wasn't random. Not really. Because what Josh doesn't know yet is that this crash is about to unravel something much bigger. Something connected to his past. Something that will test his marriage, his relationship with Max, and everything he thought he knew about his new life. During the drive, Josh proposes buying a second car, but Rachel declines. He then shares news of an accident involving an intoxicated driver. Josh feels a surge of emotions, but Rachel avoids delving deeper into the topic. At home, Max plays on the lawn, but Rachel grows uneasy since it's the same spot where the accident took place. She swiftly calls him inside while Josh brushes it off. Tire marks and a piece of broken glass linger in the grass. Later, while mowing the lawn, Josh sees the victim's family arrive to place flowers and a cross, creating a small memorial. He watches them from a distance, feeling uncertain and hesitant to approach. After they leave, he visits the memorial, which deeply disturbs him. As he examines the area, Josh notices a sharp corner on the road with its warning sign obscured by overgrown plants. A passing car struggles to navigate the turn, highlighting that this dangerous curve, especially at high speeds, likely caused the accident. The next day, Josh fixates on the incident. He searches for Kyle's profile online and watches his videos, realizing that a vibrant young life ended abruptly. This obsession consumes him, making it hard to concentrate at work. The scene shifts to Josh and Rachel's housewarming party where friends and colleagues gather in a cheerful atmosphere. When his friends express disappointment about his unreceived promotion, Josh abruptly shifts the conversation to the accident, detailing how the passenger survived while the driver died and how Kyle's parents later created a memorial. The guests grow uncomfortable, and Rachel is surprised by his depth of knowledge, especially since she wished to avoid the topic with Max present. When she questions him, Josh casually claims he read everything online, but his strange tone hints at a deeper connection. The guests quickly change the subject. After the party, Josh attempts to connect with Rachel, but she angrily tells him he should not have brought up such matters at dinner. She points out that his demeanor seemed unusually drawn to the tragedy. Rachel suggests he see a therapist, but Josh dismisses her recommendation, leading to a mild argument. The following day, Josh returns to the sharp corner where the accident happened. Armed with a chainsaw, he clears the dense bushes to make the warning sign visible, hoping to prevent future tragedies. That evening, he stands outside, watching cars navigate the turn, lost in thought. Days later, Josh decides to focus on his family and attempt to return to normalcy. He takes Rachel and Max to an amusement park, trying to reclaim a sense of normal life. He tries to win a toy for Max but fails, although Max eventually receives one. However, as evening approaches, everything shifts again. While Josh grills in the backyard, a loud crash reverberates outside. Another accident has occurred. 2 cars collide, and one speeds away. Josh immediately instructs Rachel to call emergency services and rushes out. He reaches the injured driver, encouraging him to stay conscious, but the man dies before help arrives. Amid the chaos, the man's phone rings, displaying the name Alicia. Authorities soon arrive, but Josh secretly keeps the phone. The incident leaves Rachel shaken. She insists their home is unsafe for Max, but Josh becomes increasingly fixated, believing he could have saved the man. Instead of leaving, he argues for installing guardrails, referring to it as their dream home, a sentiment Rachel once shared. The next day at work, Josh connects the deceased man's phone to his computer and learns through photos and videos that he loves golf. Later, he attends the man's funeral despite not knowing him and meets Alicia, the man's daughter. Josh lies, claiming he knew her father from a golf course and introduces himself as David. Their brief conversation intensifies his obsession. Driven by guilt, Josh enrolls in a first aid class and starts learning CPR. He becomes so engrossed that he orders a CPR dummy online to practice at home. However, this marks the beginning of new challenges. Josh neglects his job, loses focus at the office, and receives complaints. One day, his boss warns him that his declining performance and a coworker's complaint are affecting workflow, advising him to improve. Meanwhile, tensions rise at home. While bathing Max, Rachel discovers he has been pulling out his own hair. Shocked, she informs Josh and gently questions Max, growing increasingly concerned about his well-being. The next day, they take Max to a psychiatrist, who explains that the repeated accidents outside are causing stress for the child. Rachel takes this seriously, but Josh downplays it, insisting Max has only heard the sounds, not witnessed the accidents. The psychiatrist recommends installing guardrails near the house. Josh decides to spend more time with Max and suggests working remotely, even admitting he dislikes his job. This leads to another argument, as Rachel wants to sell the house while Josh refuses, calling it their dream home. That night, Josh tries to connect with Rachel, but she keeps her distance. The following day, he works from home and picks Max up from school to spend time with him. However, once home, his attention remains fixed on the road. Instead of focusing on Max, he practices first aid on a mannequin and starts dinner before Rachel arrives to avoid questions. Concerned about Max, Rachel tells Josh she has enrolled him in karate classes to help him grow mentally stronger and stay active. Josh feels upset that she made this decision without consulting him, feeling excluded from family matters. The next day, while returning from karate class, Josh notices a fire truck speeding past. His heart races, fearing another accident near their home. He follows the truck, which frightens Max. When they arrive, his fears are confirmed. Two cars have collided, and one is on fire as firefighters attempt to control the blaze. Josh observes a distressed woman whose family member is gravely injured. Nearby, paramedics perform CPR on a wounded man while Josh watches intently, his expression revealing a troubling obsession. An officer asks him to step back as he is standing too close, which irritates Josh since the accident occurred near his property. A news reporter approaches him for an interview after learning he lives across the road. Josh begins to describe what he witnessed but suddenly realizes Max is missing from the car. Just then, Rachel arrives and together they frantically search for him. Moments later, they find Max standing near the wrecked vehicle. Rachel rushes to pick him up, her face clearly showing disappointment in Josh. Eventually, Josh is forced to speak with a therapist at Rachel's insistence. He complains that Rachel becomes defensive over everything and claims that if she hadn't enrolled Max in karate, he might have been home on the day of the accident and could have saved the injured man. The therapist highlights the unrealistic nature of this belief and urges him to focus on his son's needs, explaining that even if he had been there, he might not have been able to save the victim. Still, Josh clings to the conviction that his training would have made a difference. Meanwhile, the emotional distance between him and Rachel continues to widen, leaving Josh confused and unsettled. The next day, Josh faces another setback at work. He gets fired due to his declining performance. He pleads with Erickson for another chance, attributing his struggles to personal issues, but the decision is final. Though deeply troubled, Josh conceals the truth from Rachel as their relationship is already strained. Despite everything, his obsession remains unrelenting. Josh practices first aid daily while keeping a watchful eye on the road. Rachel puts a for sale sign outside their house, but Josh refuses to leave, hoping to help in case of another accident. He hides his job loss by pretending to go to work while actually practicing with a CPR dummy. When potential buyers come, he discourages them by highlighting the road's dangers. Later, they meet Max's therapist, who reports Max's improvement with no signs of PTSD. However, Rachel learns from the realtor that buyers are scared off by Josh's accident stories. She also discovers he lost his job. Realizing the truth, Rachel decides to leave. While packing, she finds the CPR mannequin in Josh's suitcase, confirming her fears about his obsession. Josh insists he never meant to deceive her, but she won't listen. Rachel leaves with Max and sends divorce papers, seeking custody with only 2 hours of visitation for Josh. Stunned by the news, he finally confronts the reality of his situation. Both he and Rachel share the blame. She failed to support him, suggesting she wanted out of the relationship. Determined to fight for Max, Josh tells his lawyer he will apply for custody. She advises him to sell the house, as Rachel could use it against him. Reluctantly, Josh decides to sell. After several lonely days, he sells the house to a couple who love it, hiding the truth about the accidents and simply stating he is divorcing. During a conversation with Rachel, he learns she is dating someone else, which deeply hurts him. Once the deal is finalized, Josh prepares to move. One rainy night, while loading his belongings, he slips on the wet road and realizes the conditions might lead to accidents. Oddly, he feels a rush of anticipation, hoping to save someone. He grabs his first aid kit, turns off the lights, and watches the road. As hours pass with no incidents, his obsession darkens. He pours water on the road and removes the safety sign before going home to wait. Exhausted, he eventually falls asleep. A loud crash awakens him. A woman's car has overturned. Startled, he remembers his purpose. Believing this is his chance to be a hero, he rushes outside. The woman is alive but badly injured. He struggles to open the car door, and a nearby bus stops as passengers gather. He asks someone to call 911 and manages to pull the woman out. He attempts CPR, but she shows no signs of breathing. After repeated attempts, he breaks down, fearing he may have lost her. Suddenly, she gasps for air and regains consciousness. Relieved, Josh breathes a sigh of relief as onlookers praise him. When paramedics arrive, they commend his efforts. A proud smile spreads across his face, marking the film's conclusion. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button and share it with a friend. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss a recap.